Yes, here we go. It's time, ladies and gentlemen. Two of the biggest names on the influencer scene will be going to battle this Saturday to find out who will be crowned the ultimate influencer champion. And, fucking hell. Is there no other boxing this Saturday? Honestly, is there nothing else I can promo?
No, not really. There's Miguel Burchelt versus Diego Ruiz, but that's about it.
Miguel Burchelt? Who the fuck's that? Alright, fine, we'll do this one. Yes, to find out who is the king of the influencers, to find out who is the ultimate champion of the one and only Miss Tits. Yes, of course, it's Ski versus Thomas Fury. And here's why it's gonna be absolute carnage. Off we pop, alright then. So it's tipped to be one of the biggest boxing events of the year. The infamous YouTuber Ski faces off against his toughest opponent yet, Luke Fury's brother Thomas Fury, competing for these really cute belts.
Ah, they're nice belts, Ski. Did you make them yourself?
Yes, well, he won them when he beat the ferocious Pinhead last year, retained them by knocking out Fuzzy Temper, and then elbowed his way to a victory against the man who claims to be a billionaire, Joe Fournier, a billionaire who apparently needs to fight YouTubers for a little paycheck. Oh yeah, righto. Anyway, but that's not all. We've got Ski's prime business partner Paul Logan against Dildo Dennis. Yes, McGregor's bag carrier, who has a habit of making fights and then going, nah, fuck it, I'll give it a miss. Well, hopefully he turns up this time, because for us fans, we're desperate to see it. It's a win-win whoever gets knocked spark out here, whether it's the bloke who scammed thousands of people into buying a crypto coin that turned out to be a load of bollocks, or a bloke who's just a total fucking yoghurt. Bring it on, yes. Now before we get into talking about the hairy details of the actual fight, I need to say, look, in all honesty, I'm not a big fan of talking about influencer boxing and this total load of pony on my channel, but you can't deny it, this one's quite hard to ignore, and the numbers just simply are mind-boggling, ain't they? Over 4.5 million views on the face-off, over 5 million views on the Paul and Dildo face-off. Compare that to the absolute barnstormer of Wood versus Warrington last week that raked in barely 70k. Now our old mate Edward reckons this fight cracks 1 million pay-per-view buys, but there is a very good chance he could be way off. This could surpass that by a long way, due to the addition of Paul Logan and his American influence, due to the Dillian Dennis beef whose tweets about Paul's fiancée have reportedly been viewed a staggering 2 billion times. Bloody hell, I mean 2 billion sets of eyeballs spending a minute of their life reading this plonker's tweets. That's time well spent, innit? No wonder the world's a bit fucked, blimey. But yes, all in all, the impressions have been monumental, and Miss Tits seems to go from strength to strength. So what about the main event then? Come on, let's dissect it. Well, Thomas comes off his big win against Jake Tall back in February, and Ski from his overturned elbow victory on the skint billionaire. Of course, as predicted, the old face-off got a little bit tasty.
6 rounds, catch weight as well. I thought you was going to do that as well.
Yes, very scary. And just by the by, Thomas, I do have to pick you up on this one.
That's about what you got in you, whether you got a set of balls or not.
Yeah,
I don't fear any man on this planet.
Yeah, that's not quite true though, is it? Because you had the opportunity to fight our old mate and the absolute double legend Poochie, and you turned it down, bruv, so don't talk a load of muff. Anyway, now the fight will take place at a sold-out Manchester AO Arena and will be only over 6 rounds. There has been VADA testing, fair play, and interestingly, Ski plans to wear the most expensive mouthguard in history, a £40,000 diamond encrusted gold leaf mouthguard. Why? Just why? When you're about to get whacked in the mouth for 6 rounds, it's probably not the best idea to put rock-hard diamonds in front of your fucking teeth. You can't even see it either, can you total whopper? But there we are, is what it is. Anywho, so as bad as both fighters' opposition has been over the past few years, Tommy will, however, have the edge, having fought at a slightly higher level. He's also been boxing since an early age, and obviously he's regularly worked with and been nurtured by the current best heavyweight in the world, old Lukey boy. Ski is a bit of a newbie to boxing, having only trained for around 5 or 6 years, but he does claim to have phenomenal power. Power that was simply too much for Pinhead and Swamp. And of course, Tommy will have to be aware of this. Ski also has a lot of movement, almost a bit too much in all honesty, because most of the time he's hopping around like fucking Skippy. That's something that works well for a couple of rounds, but at this 183 pound weight, it's something that will tire him out as the rounds go on. Now, he's made no bones about it, he's coming to knock old Thomas out, and just watching his recent fights, we can see he has little interest in the sweet science. He's not too worried about jabbing and moving or boxing his way to a points victory. No, he's just all about the big looping right hand. The Saturday night swinger, as I call it, the one the builder throws when he comes out the pub and he's had a little blast on the Colombian nose beers. He sees a little small bloke, he goes, "What you looking at, you lemsip? Fuck off, have this, a Dorkin." Yeah, Ski loves a haymaker. But this right hand could land him in a bit of trouble, because it regularly gets him a bit square on, doesn't it, as we can see here, which should allow Fury to land a few pelters straight down the middle. Now, Thomas does actually have a decent technique through experience and a much broader use of the sweet science. He ain't got a bad little jab, which is something that Ski has had barely any experience of feeling, since most of his opponents either didn't throw jabs, either didn't have the ability to throw jabs, or couldn't even fucking spell jab. So when Ski's head is rocked back by a sharp one, he may be in a bit of unknown territory, and we simply have no idea how good this man's chin actually is, which adds even more jeopardy. In fairness, the same could be said about Tommy, and we are actually quite likely to find out, because of the real problem that Tommy faces in this fight, and that is not seeing the punches coming, because of the bright lights that bounce off of Ski's head. His secret weapon, he lifts that chin up a little, bosh, beaming light straight into Fury's eyes, blinds him. Fucking brilliant tactics, very cheeky. But yes, all in all, as pony as it is from a hardcore boxing perspective, and even though both their egos have got totally out of hand, it is still quite intriguing. And imagine John Fury if Tommy loses, bloody hell, he might take his top off again. So hopefully it delivers, hopefully Dildo turns up, and hopefully someone gets a humbling. Yes, bring it on, there we are. And don't forget, chaps, me and the lads have got a little cheeky podcast out on Thursdays from now on, so get yourself over to Spotify and Apple and all them other little bollocky streaming sites, and we'll see you there. See you soon, bye.